They appear on the horizon as if they landed from outer space. Strange, otherworldly structures constructed from society's castaways. You might expect aliens to emerge, but instead they house passionate people with a purposeful way of facing life on this planet. Using the Earth and the environment to solely sustain and support their existence. Ahead of their time? Perhaps. But a model for generations to come. I'm meteorologist Jim Cantore. I've made a career of being in the middle of storms, and I love it. But there's more to weather than storms. Some people live where they have to deal with harsh or unusual conditions on a daily basis. On Cantore Stories, we'll take you to these places. You'll meet the people that call them home, and we'll immerse you in their culture. On this episode, the Earthships of Taos. It's the ultimate in eco-housing. Hello, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantore here in Taos, New Mexico. These bizarre buildings called Earthships set the standard for living off the grid. They are almost like living, breathing machines, providing their own energy, water, and food.
The building itself can be a cellular unit that encounters the phenomena of the Earth and does everything. So we heat the buildings by thermal mass and sun. We cool the buildings with sun, with a convection engine.
Some people have no idea what I'm talking about at all. There's just no frame of reference. It's like you're living in a spaceship. Where are you? You're living in a house made of tires? Some people imagine living without water and without power, and I explained to them, no, this is the most luxurious life I have ever had.
They may be luxurious inside, but most of the Earthships still appear pretty far out on the exterior.
The first time I saw one, I was like, what the hell is that?
They're what do you call it, Dr. Zeus.
I mean, it's like a hobbit village, you know.
It's kind of a combination of outer earthly and Byzantine.
They're whatever we want to make them look like. And like I say, I have built buildings that would totally take care of people, but nobody wanted them because they were strange looking. They looked like they landed or whatever.
It is true that if you drive past an Earthship and you're expecting to see something conventional and you see these things, you can't figure out what it is. And maybe it doesn't look beautiful for everybody. I'll tell you why it's beautiful to me is I know why it's designed this way, and I know what all of the aspects of the Earthship are about. So I love the way it looks. Plus, it's just weird looking, you know?
The Earthships are located less than 2 miles from the majestic Rio Grande Gorge. The first ones were constructed in the early 70s, about 15 miles outside the town of Taos, in a rural region known as the Landing Zone.
Because there's no actual structure here, infrastructure, it was easy to start with nothing, just from the ground up, and make it so you're catching your water, you've got your solar power, you know. You're creating a stable environment as a building for people to live in.
Taos is an eclectic town of about 5,000 permanent residents. It sits in the north-central region of New Mexico, about halfway between Albuquerque and Colorado Springs, Colorado.
I think Taos is a place that really allows us and encourages us to be ourselves, which accounts for this amazing artistic environment, and architects and painters and musicians. We can really spread our wings and be who we are here in a way that is difficult out in mainstream America.
And I think that people here in Taos they kind of run at a different speed. There's sort of a term that we use called Taos time, and that means that people are sort of just a little bit slower, quieter, not so much in a hurry. It's sort of the opposite of the New York minute.
Earthships have been built in every state and over 17 countries. But with over 300 sunny days a year, Taos is the perfect place for them.
The house is oriented south so that it catches solar gain in the winter, and in the summer when the sun goes back up, it's shaded
So the house, in return, passively heats and cools itself through thermal mass and conduction.
There are basic fundamentals that make up an Earthship. Besides solar, they are designed to utilize wind power for additional energy. They produce food in a greenhouse that is designed to take advantage of the south-facing windows. They have a contained sewage treatment system which takes water from sinks and showers, called gray water, which is used to water indoor gardens. It's gathered again to flush toilets and then goes into a septic tank. At this point, it's called black water, and it's extracted again and used on outdoor plants. One of the most important features of the Earthship is harvesting water from the roof, since this area only averages 12 inches of rainfall annually.
So we basically flushed the toilet with water we took a shower in yesterday. So we're basically never letting a drop of water go once we catch it from the sky. The roof is a basin that catches water and stores it in cisterns, and we use it 4 times. We not only reuse the water with this system, but we make it so no sewage leaves the building.
These obviously aren't your typical 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath houses of suburbia. Then again, if you choose to live in one, mainstream probably isn't a word on your doormat. Just saying.
Go fly! So I have a friend, and when she heard that I go out and I turn my panels, because I don't have to, but if I turn my panels, I get more power all during the day. I track the sun. And she said, you know, for me, she says, I want power. I don't want to think about power. I don't want to turn panels. I don't want to think about it not being sunny and not having power. That person would be miserable in this house.
I think after a while, it would maybe feel like I was living under the earth, and I just would want to be more on top of the earth. And tradition, growing up with houses being seen, this would be kind of hard for me to adjust to. But the concept's great. So, I mean, I would take the panels and all the guts of what they're doing, but put it in a more traditional style house for someone my age.
Sally Margolin helped build her own Earthship. For her, there's no other way to live.
And I really think once you've lived like this, why would you not want to live like this? And how important is that for the world? Well, I hope there are enough people who do this that it makes a difference. You know, I'm making a difference somehow for the planet. And if enough people are doing that, can't be bad.
Margolin's Earthship is one of the early ones. It's a little more old school than the modern versions.
This is the custom compost toilet, which is basically a 5-gallon bucket sitting inside this box. And then this pail has peat moss in it. So you use the peat moss and you put that in the bucket after you use the compost toilet.
Many people of today's technology generation are finding value in this type of sustainable living.
I love the fact that my conscience feels a lot better than when I was living in the middle of the suburbs, not knowing where my power was coming from or where the water was coming from or what it had been through.
It's a state of consciousness that will resonate forever with Margolin.
They're taking me out of my house feet first, because, you know, when you build your own home, I think it's probably pretty hard to say, oh, I'm going to go live somewhere else. And B, when you build a home because you want to live like this and you want to live close to nature and you want to be in touch with what's going on in the sky and the weather, and then to think that I would move from here to what? So, yeah, feet first. That's how I'm leaving.
Coming up on Cantori Stories, meet the man who launched the Earthship.
Well, I'm a pioneer, I'm a visionary, I'm, you know, I'm all of that, but I'm a human, and I sort of am excited about where humanity can go.
He's his own man. He's got a vision and a real commitment. This is not just about being an architect, it's about helping people.
Since their beginnings in the 70s, the process of building Earthships continues to evolve and improve. But everything still revolves around rubber.
What we start with is about 500 automobile tires that we get from the dump or tire stores, and we pound them full of site dirt. That creates a mass retaining wall that we can berm against and creates a massive wall that can hold heat.
You end up with, like, say, anywhere between 150 and 300 pound rammed earth brick encased in rubber and steel belting. And we basically stack those like bricks, pound them in place.
And then the second stage is to do all the steel work and the foundation work, and we form a lot of that with can walls made out of aluminum cans that we get from the recycling center. We also do plastic bottles, and we've used all sorts of different waste in different projects.
The bottles and cans are used for forming concrete and for non-bearing interior walls that are lightweight and curvable. Glass windows are key ingredients since it's sunny 75 to 80% of the time in New Mexico. And the Earthships are all built facing south to capture all that potential solar energy.
The newer models like this one have a greenhouse built into the house, but separate from the house. So your plants get lots of light and lots of warmth, but the house doesn't get as warm as the greenhouse does.
Building them is labor intensive, but they're all designed to meet local building codes.
Technology's gotten so much better. Panels are more efficient, the batteries are more efficient, and as everything moves forward, so do we with the buildings.
And what we were doing 3 years ago is seriously obsolete compared to what we're doing now. What we're doing is, see, we start to understand these earth phenomena more and more and more and more, and squeezing more performance out of them to the point where, I mean, I'm getting pretty cocky. I'm saying, hell, I could do this on the moon, and it would work.
The Earthships cost about $200 per square foot, which seems steep, but not when you consider that your utility bills can be as low as $50 a year.
We really started to look at materials differently. Like, I consider a tire a building material just like a 2x4. So it gives you a different way of looking at, what could you use that is a byproduct in your house, in a house that'll keep you warm and give you power and water and food.
He looks like a mad scientist.
Michael Reynolds is kind of like a renegade, redneck architect who, for some reason, has pretty brilliant ideas.
He's the man behind the plan, the father of the Earthships.
I would describe him as being quite a visionary, but at the same time, the bottom line is direct action. Just getting things done and doing it.
He's been called the garbage warrior.
The fact that we use what this world calls garbage, a lot of things have been a stigma against it, but it just keeps getting better. In other words, the climate change paranoia, the energy crunches, the economic crunches, everything gets people more and more afraid. And this is something they can look at and say, I can take care of my family if I have one of these. One of these buildings in this community would simply take care of you no matter what happened. You could stay alive. In this building here, you could literally stay alive.
He's always on the go. He's nonstop, There's always something in his head. He's always, what's the next building, or what's the next move to make it easier or more accessible.
He's a trained architect who came to Taos to avoid the draft during the Vietnam War. He calls himself a biotech now, and after 40 years of building Earthships, who's to argue?
I'm getting pretty good at doing it, and what has happened is the world has gone down, down, down to the point where it really, really needs this. I just happen to be here with this, and so yeah, right now I'm on a magic carpet ride.
He's his own man. He's got a vision and a real commitment. This is not just about being an architect, it's about helping people.
And I see people as stressed and starved right now all over the planet, even the wealthy people. they're stressed and starved in certain ways. And if you could take the people of this planet and make them relaxed and totally comfortable with knowing that they had sustenance for them and their families, they would probably emerge to a completely different level of humanity, which would be beyond politics, beyond economics. It would be unbelievable. People are not trusting anything these days except maybe the sun. You know, the sun can't be bought out. The sun can't be corrupted. The rain can't be corrupted. This is a way that people are starting to see it's the truth. It's the only truth.
After all these years, Reynolds still has fun with the designs, hence their off-the-wall appearances.
They can look like whatever you want, but I am aware of the fact that people do want things to look a certain way, and so they can look pretty much as conventional as you want them to.
He was absolutely, dogged in doing what he was going to do out here and doing whatever he had to do to make it work. And I'm so thankful for that. And look, I'm living like this because he's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Well, I'm a pioneer, I'm a visionary, I'm all of that, but I'm a human, and we're all humans, and I sort of am excited about where humanity can go, and it's kind of just an adventure.
Coming up on Cantori Stories, a low-cost solution to natural disasters.
We used 10,000 plastic bottles off the streets of Port-au-Prince. We used about close to 100 tires. You take the two and you create a wall that can withstand an earthquake.
We go to wherever there's a tsunami or a hurricane or an earthquake, and the reason we do is because, yes, one thing is we do have some answers, because after a disaster, they're looking for shelter, water, and sanitation. We have it. We do it. That's our job.
No country in recent history has needed more help than Haiti. 2010's catastrophic earthquake left over 300,000 dead and up to 1 million homeless.
These people have been through just horrors that most of us can't even imagine. It makes you just have instant respect for these people that have been through this.
Within months, Team Earthship rounded up 40 Haitians, ages 4 to 50, to pitch in and help construct a 120 square foot self-sustaining home that could be built for $4,000.
So the building, just the construction of it, was cleaning up the streets. We used 10,000 plastic bottles. We used about close to 100 tires. And you take the two and you create a wall that can withstand an earthquake. It's resistant of hurricanes due to the dome shape. The Haitians really built the building with us just kind of massaging it and directing it. They're just really motivated to make their country better.
I don't really know exactly, guys, if you really understand that huge favor that you give us. You teach people how to build an airship. Like my own water, my own electricity, my own food. It's like this is all we need. And then now we can share it.
We have taken
a very proud and light people, and I think this is a perfect formula for making a shot heard around the world.
Reality vision. It's like a dream turned into reality. I have to hold back tears, seeing all that we've done. My objective is to change Haiti. If I have to die before I see it, I will work for the next generation. I love you guys. I love Earthship.
This is Allison, your navigation advisor. Where can OnStar take you today?
210 West Rim Road. There are other examples of eco-housing in Taos besides Earthships. Let's go check some out. There are houses made out of straw. There's even a house with a living roof. And ones with different types of solar heating, besides standard panels.
So you can see behind me is the trom wall. So it's the wall oriented to the south, and then the sun pours through the glass, and the heat that gets trapped in there probably gets up to 150 degrees. So it just traps enough heat in that mass that it can store enough heat to heat the house all night long.
Eccentric yet ingenious. Yeah, they look like they were dropped from outer space. But there's nothing alien about this construction. Imagine a home that provides its own food, energy, and water. And you've discovered the Earthships of Taos.
We have found this way, and it works, and it's very secure. You've got your water, you've got your shelter, you've got your energy, you've got your food, you've got heating and cooling. It is working.
Little kids out here are a blast. They go into schools and the teachers say you can always tell the kids who live in Earthships because they go around and they shut off the lights when they leave the classrooms, and they're always telling people don't leave the water on. They're totally attuned. So, you know, get these little guys doing that and the planet might not be in such trouble.